All right, hello class. So this is Unit 8, Lesson 2, Combine Like Terms and Solve. Again, we're going to be reviewing combining like terms and like the distributive property and then solving. So these are expressions in these first two cases where we can use the distributive property. When we distribute, we must distribute this piece, this whole piece, to each part. So this becomes -2 times x plus a -2 times 4. And we have some products that we can simplify. That product is -2x plus -2 times 4 is going to be -8 because our signs will be different. So we're distributing the 4 to each part of our quantity here. It's 4 times this quantity. So that's 4 times n plus 4 times 1. 4 times n is 4n, and 4 times 1 is just 4. So that's how that one would simplify. And then we can review using the distributive property and then solving. So we're going to keep everything on the left for now. So this would be 3 times z, which is 3z, plus 3 times a -2. So we have 3z plus 3 times a -2 will be -6 equals 6. Okay, so now we're going to want to do the inverse of adding a -6. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. This difference is 0. So we have 3z equals 12. Now we can divide both sides by 3 because it's 3 times z. So we're left with z equals just 4. And that's how we can use the distributive property to then get to a familiar spot with solving and then solve for our variable or whatever our unknown quantity is. Again, with a negative out front, it's a -1 times that quantity. So we must distribute that to each piece. So that's -1 times 2y plus -1 times 1 equals 3. Now I can simplify these products. That's a -2y, or it'd be a -1 times 2y, plus -1 equals 3. Now I can solve for 3, so I'm going to add 1 to both sides because that's my inverse of adding a -1. So we're left with -2y equals 4. Then I can divide both sides by -2. That simplifies to 1, and we're left with y equals -2, because when we're dividing and we have different signs, it's going to be negative. Also, maybe I should make this clear. When we're solving for whatever our unknown variable is. We're used to seeing an x and finding x equals something. We can still have any variable here because that's what it's representing. The variable is taking the place of an unknown quantity. So we can distribute and solve for y or a or b or whatever using these properties we've been practicing. Now let's review combining like terms in these expressions. So I see some like terms right here. So we have the same sign, so I know that when I add them together it'll be negative. And when we add our terms, it'll still have the term. So -2x plus a -6x is going to be -8x. And then I see some constants, which are like terms. It's a +4 plus a +8. Same sign, so that'll be a +12. That expression is now simplified. Let's practice rewriting. So this is -7 plus a -y plus 4 plus 8 plus 12y. First, I'm going to do my variables. So I see a -y plus 12y. It's a difference. That difference is going to be 11y because -y is the same as -1 times y. So when looking at our coefficients, it's a -1 and a 12. Then I'm going to do -7. Oh, maybe I should do green. -7 plus 4. So that's another difference. That is negative because the negative is bigger. So that's going to be a difference of 3. So -3 plus 8. I'm now going to do these like terms. Those are like terms that are also constants. I used the associative property where I did -7 plus 4 for my grouping, and now I'm adding 8. So 11y, this is a difference of 5, and the 8 is bigger, so it's a positive 5. So now we can practice combining like terms and then solving. So, and again, this should be a little bit of review, but we can then add in distributive property and combining like terms. So everything that's on the left side we can combine and then simplify. So I see a difference of these terms. It's going to be positive because there are more positives, and the difference is going to be 4x plus 5. There is no other constant to add to 5 equals 17. Now I can do my inverse operation, so I'm going to add a -5 to both sides, or I could have subtracted 5 from both sides. So I have 4x equals 17 plus a -5, or 17 minus 5 is 12. So now I can divide both sides by 4, so x equals 3. So let's combine like terms here. We have a 6x plus 5x. So how many x's are there? There are 11 x's equals -11. This is a product. This is 11 times x, so my inverse operation will be to divide both sides by 11. This becomes 1 times x, or just x equals, my answer is going to be negative because it's a negative divided by a positive, and 11 divided by 11 divided by 11 is 1. So x equals -1 there. I'm going to first rewrite and simplify the left. So it's 4x plus 6 plus the opposite, so plus 3 equals 5. Now I'm going to combine my like terms. There are no like terms with x, so I'm going to just rewrite that down here. 4x plus, 6 plus 3 is 9 equals 5. Now I can do my inverse operations. So I can subtract 9 from both sides. That then is 0. So we have 4x equals 5 minus 9, which is -4. So I can divide both sides by 4 to get x by itself, and that'll be -1. 42 equals -8x minus 13x. So let's first rewrite it as 42 equals -8x plus a -13x. Now we can see that we have the same sign and we have the same term of x. So when I add them together, we keep our sign, and 8 plus 13 is going to be 21x. I want x by itself. Even though x is on the right side, we can still solve for x, because what we do to the right, we must do to the left, and vice versa. What we do to the left, we must do to the right. We're just trying to find out what x is. So I want x by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by -21. So on the right, that'll simplify to just x. And on the left, 42 divided by -21 is going to be -2. And although it looks kind of strange because our x is on the right side, it's still the same. So let's check it. Let's plug it in. We're going to substitute -2 for x into, well, actually, I'm going to do this part because this will be simplified down. So 42 equals -21 times -2. I just substituted this in for x. So I'm going to get rid of that. So then I have 42 equals, well, -21 times 2 is going to be positive, and that's 42. So that's good. That's right. So it doesn't matter that x is on the right side. X can equal something on the left, or let's see, I want to do it like this. Something can equal x on the right because equations are balanced like that. Use the distributive property, combine like terms, and then solve for x. So we're kind of combining a lot of things here. This is why it's really important to show your steps. So first I'm going to distribute a -4x through. So that'll be 8x minus 4. Oh, I suppose maybe I want to distribute the -4 through. I'm going to do it like this. minus 4 times x, because I'm going to leave the minus out front, plus 4 times 8 equals 32. Now I can simplify. So I have minus, oh, I probably should have distributed the negative 4. Let's do it that way. We're going to distribute the negative 4 through. So I'm distributing the whole negative 4 through. So 8x plus negative 4 times x plus negative 4 times 8 equals 8. So I'm rewriting 8x plus negative 4x plus negative 32 equals 8. Now I can combine some like terms. These are like terms. They're a difference. It's going to be positive because the positive 8 is greater than the negative 4. The difference is 4x, and we still have our plus negative 32 equals 8. So I'm doing my inverse operations now to solve for x. I'm going to add 32 to both sides. So then I have 4x equals 8 plus 32 is 40. So I can divide both sides by 4. So I'm left with just x equals 10. Okay, again, look, the x's are on the right side, but that's okay because we're just trying to solve for x. I'm going to distribute this 3 through. So 0 equals 3x plus 3 times negative 6 plus 6x. So I need to simplify some stuff. 3 times negative 6 is going to be negative 18 plus 6x. So I do have some like terms, 3x plus 6x. That sum is 9x plus a negative 18. So now I'm simplified down where I can solve for x. So I want x by itself, so my inverse operation of plus negative 18 is going to be to add 18 to both sides. 0 plus 18 on the left is going to be 18 equals 9x. And then to get x by itself, we can divide both sides by 9. Whoops, that doesn't simplify. So we have 18 divided by 9 is 2 equals x. That's what that one simplifies to. A couple more here. This is good practice. So we're going to distribute first. So we have 37 equals negative 3 plus 5, because we're distributing the 5 through, times x plus 5 times 6. So 37 equals negative 3 plus 5 times x is 5x plus 5 times 5 times 6 is 30. So I see my like terms, they're constants. So then I can combine those. So we have 37 equals, it's a difference of 27 plus 5x. Now we can solve for x. So it's a positive 27, so I'm going to subtract 27 from both sides. That difference is 0, so we're left with 5x equals 37 minus 27 is 10. So we can divide both sides by 5, so we have x equals just 2. And if you're unsure again, you can plug it back in to check. This last one, I'm going to get rid of this box. That was 2. I'm going to distribute twice. We have to use the distributive property twice. This becomes 5 times 1, which is 5, plus 5 times 4x. Now I have to distribute a negative 2 through. So plus negative 2 times x plus negative 2 times 1 equals negative 15. We still have this negative 15 on the right. Now I can simplify some of these products. I'm rewriting 5 because it was 5 times 1 plus 5 times 4x. It's going to be 20x plus, again, order of operations, we must multiply before we add or subtract. Negative 2x, or excuse me, negative 2 times x is negative 2x plus negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Now let's see if we have like terms to combine. I see some right here. This is a difference. It's going to be positive since our positive is greater than the negative. The difference is 18x. And then I also see some constants that we can add together. That difference is going to be plus 3 equals negative 15. I don't like the way that looks. So now we can solve for x. So I'm going to do my inverse operation. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. That becomes 0, so 18x equals negative 18. It's a product next, so we're going to divide by 18 on both sides. That simplifies to just x, and we have a negative divided by positive, so that'll be a negative 1. So look at how nice that simplified after we use the distributive property and then combine like terms. And then I have a couple for you to try. So thanks for watching. If there are any questions, I understand, because we're kind of bringing a culmination or a combination of everything we've been working on. It's kind of like combining like terms. It's all coming together. It all corresponds to solving for whatever our unknown variable is, even though it can be on the right or the left side. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you later. Bye.